Welcome back, guys. So today I'll be showing you how to cut the down part of this dress. This dress has a side slit with pleats. This pleat is starting from the waist to the hip of my client, and is a straight down dress. So if you like to see that, please keep on watching, but don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video, and try and leave a comment. Okay, it helps me. So let's get right into it. This particular place is going to be my waist length and also my starting point, and then my starting point as well. So now I'm going to start from the waist length. Of course, our waist length is 19 inches, so that's going to be our starting point, because this is the part we're going to connect to the top part of the dress. But I'll start with 18.5, because this 050 I'm adding here is going to be our sewing allowance. So I'm going to start from there. Then I'm going to mark my hip length. My hip length is 32, so I'll mark her hip length here, not mine. Then her knee length is 42. I like to come up by 2 inches, to mark where the knee length is going to be. So I'm going to mark 40 inches here. So now I'm going to mark the full length. The full length is going to be to the end, so I'll just leave it like that. Here is my hip length, and then here is my my knee length, and then here is my full length. So we will now come to the round waist here, and I'll mark our round waist and the waist length here. And our round waist is 40, divided by 4 is 10. I am going to mark my 10 inches here. I'm going to add 2 inches as my sewing allowance, so altogether I'll be having 12 inches here. So at the hip length, I'm going to mark our round hip. Our round hip is 52, divided by 4, that should be 13, right? Yes, 13. I'll mark the 13 here from this our starting point here. I'll mark the 13 inches, and I'll also mark sewing allowance, which is 2 inches, making it 15 inches. At this hip length, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. The reason why I'm doing this is so that you're not going to encounter, like, you see that ear thing that you have when you make an outfit. So I'll come here and remark this 13 inches that we marked at our hip length, and then the 15 inches also here, and then I'll leave it like this. So for our knee length, we're going to mark our round hip minus 8. You guys know how we do it. So our round hip is 52, minus 8 will give you 44. So 44 divided by 4 is 11. So we'll mark plus 2 inches, which is 13. This is going to be our sewing allowance. So for our full length here, I am going to be doing, normally we do minus 2 to give it the pencil look, but this part I don't want it to have that pencil look. So what I'm going to do, what we have here is 11 inches. So I will just remove 1 inch from this our round knee and use it here, which is going to now be 10 inches. I will now use 10 inches here, so it is not all that pencil, even though it's going to be like tailored. And here I'm going to be using 2 inches, making it 12 inches to for our sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect these to the full length down there. I'll connect this together. I'll also connect the sewing allowance together. I don't even know why I'm connecting the main one, but let's just keep going so you guys can follow it all. So from this, at this hip length, now for us to connect here to here, I'll connect it from here to here, like these 2 inches that we came down. That's where I'm going to connect from to our knee length. I'll do the same for the sewing allowance. And then for this place, I'm going to come down like just straight ahead, just like how we did. Like this is just going to be straight. You see how we don't have any curve here, so that no ear is going to appear. So to connect from the hip length to the waist length, I'm going to be using my hip curve, and then this is what we are going to do. You see the way I just aligned it there, and this is what we have. I will also do the same for the sewing allowance. This is our front pattern. Okay, then what I will now do is I'll come here at the center front and come down by 1 inch. This I won't cut it out now. I'll just come down like that and leave it there. So at this point, I won't connect this to the full length, to this point here, our actual round waist. I'll leave 050 before connecting this. Do you get? So by the time I join this together, there is a space here, 050 so that the length is not going to shorten. But I won't touch anything now, just leave this like this. The next thing we'll be doing now is to fixing our slit, because this cloth obviously has a slit. Our slit is going to be by the side. So what I'll be using is either I use her round waist divided by 8, or I use her bust pan divided by 2. Her round waist divided by 8. Her round waist is 40 divided by 8 is 5 inches. And her bust pan, that's the nipple is 10 because she's a plus size lady. Her round bust is 49. So her nipple is 10 divided by 2 is still 5. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and mark these 5 inches here. I'll mark the 5 inches all the way to the full length. Okay? And then now when we finish marking it, I will now connect it together. So this is where the slit is going to be, but I will not cut this slit out now. I'll go ahead and cut out my front pattern. Okay, I'll carefully cut it out. So look at what I'm doing as I'm cutting it out. This is what we'll have as our front pattern. So as I told you guys, this is our front slit, and I am not going to cut out this slit now. Neither am I going to cut out this 1 inch at the waistline. Remember that if you look at this clothes very well, you are going to see that it has some form of ruching by the side. So we're going to be putting our ruching, but before we do that, I want to first of all cut out my back pattern before we will now go ahead and slash the front pattern. I'm going to be starting this outfit for me. I just marked out a certain point. Do you understand? So this is where I'm going to be starting this outfit from. So I'm going to go ahead and write starting points here. So go ahead and mark out 1.5 inches all the way to the full length. This is going to serve as our zip allowance. So the next thing we'll be doing is to bring the front pattern and place it on top of the back pattern. And then the front pattern is going to start from the 1.5 zip allowance that we made out. That is where the front pattern is going to start from. Now we have pinned this out. What I'll do now is to come here at this our knee length. I'm going to extend this line out. Let me use my ruler. Let me extend this out to the sewing to the back side of the outfit. Do you understand? I'll extend this out. So now I've extended it out at the waist length here. We are going to go in by 1.5. Remember, I'm using this chalk so you can see. I'm going to go in by 1.5 here. Then at the hip length here, I will go up and down by 2.5 inches. So we are going to go up and down by 2.5 inches at the hip length, but at the waist length we went in by 1.5 inches. Then at the knee length, I will also go in by 1.5 inches. Whilst at the full length, the same thing, I will also go in by 1.5 inches. So now we are going to come here, because here is already connected to this place, so we don't need to rule it again. But at the knee length here, we are going to connect this to the 2.5 we came down from the hip length. So I'll connect this now. Then I'll now come up to the 2.5 inches that we came up at the hip length, and then connect it to the 1.5 inches that we went in at the waist length. And this is what you're going to have. With this, you have embedded like your bum shape and all into the clothes. So we are going to be cutting off this area. This place is not going to be in use. Okay, at this point I am going to add here 1 inch at the waist length for the back. At the hip length, I'm not going to add anything here. I won't add anything here at all. At the knee length, I am also going to add 1 inch here at the knee length for the back side. I'll add 1 inch all the way to the full length. This is going to compensate for the thing that we removed. I'll add it here. So I'm going to join everything together. Let me also bring it here, the 1 inch down here. I'll add this here. Okay, then this 1 inch, let me measure it here. I'll add the 1 inch here. Then I am going to connect it this way. Then I'll now use my hip curve and connect this 1 inch to the 1 inch at the waist. So this is going to be our back pattern, of which we are now going to go ahead and cut now. So guys, this is our back pattern. This side is the zip side, and then this is our side back. Go ahead and keep this center back down, and then we're going to go ahead and go back to the front pattern and start our slashing. Remember that this cloth has some form of pleat or draping at the waist side. So for us to get the ruching, what I did was I first of all cut this on a different material. The material I'm actually using is this black crepe. I didn't have enough colored paper to like cut it again, so I just have to use an old bridal satin to cut this. So I just cut the front pattern alone, and then I opened the side slit that we already have. So this is the side we are going to have the ruching in. So you see the way I just cut this and left, I slashed it open 1, 2, 3 in 3 different places, and then I left like 0.25 at the end here. So now we have slashed this open in like 3 different places. The only thing I just did is to just use my hand and freestyle this. I just use my hand to like just open this up. Do you see what I'm doing? Yeah, because we are going to pleat this back to come back to the full length of what we have. So this is what I'm having. So this is about 1.75. This is what about 1.75 or 1.5. Then what's here? This is about 1 inch. So I'll just use it this way. So what I'll just do next is that I know that now I am going to just connect here together, and this is how this part of the outfit is going to go. I'll now go ahead and like cut this out. So now that I'm done cutting this out, what I'll go ahead and do next is to give here an opening, small opening. This place I'm giving opening is the side that I know that I'm going to pleat this, where the pleating is going to be ending. Okay, so I'll go ahead and give here, indicate where. So can you see what I've done? Okay, see what I've done. So by the time I want to sew this outfit, I know I'm going to connect this place I just opened here, this place that has this open to this one. Then the next one, I'll look for the next one, and okay, this is it. I'll now connect this one too to this one, and then I'll connect this one to this one, and then we are back to what we had formerly. And then I'll now go ahead and sew it to this particular slit. So this is what we are going to be having. So guys, this is the final look of the outfit. You can see the pleat from the waist region to the hip side. That's the only place that the pleat is in. Yeah, so this is my client. I'm so glad that she likes her outfits. Let me know if you would like to make a custom made outfit. I'll leave my details in the description box so that you can contact me. Okay, if you also want the dress she is wearing, it will also be available for order. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.